Coddle is a very Dublin dish that's basically the equivalent of a pig stew. It's pig stew is what it is.
Take a litre of vegetable stock.
Coddle is a Dublin dish dating all the way back to the 1700s. Admittedly, it's not the most appetising to look at, but it is the perfect dish to tuck into on a winter's day. Traditionally, coddle was always made from the leftovers. Rashers, sausages, potatoes, onions, anything that could be spared was thrown into the pot and left to simmer away until the family was ready to sit down and eat. To find out more about the beloved Dublin dish, I took a trip to the city centre to speak to some locals.
A coddle was basically a working class Dublin dish, and depending on how well off you were, probably the better quality, you know. So coddle was one of my favourite dishes when I was at school, especially. I'd come home from school and I would just love it, and my mum would always say, do you want a cuddle or a cuddle? And we'd always say a cuddle because we knew we got the cuddle anyway afterwards. So we loved it. It's so tasty, really tasty. I think a lot of people are prejudiced because of what it looks like, but if you can get past that, it's fantastic.
Okay, what's in a coddle is onions, potatoes, ham, sausages and stock, and that's it.
Any particular sausages?
My daughter's celiac, so it has to be gluten-free. But see, gluten-free has its advantages because you get more pork content because it can't bulk her up with barley and that, see?
Top tip.
I make coddle once a week and it's usually a big pot, so you get it over 2 days. So you refrigerate it over the other half overnight and you have the other half the next day, which is even better.
So in my house, my kind of the special dish in the house was coddle. My dad's coddle is incredible. So every maybe like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, he might make coddle. And I'm not a very good cook, but it's the one thing that he's taught me how to make that I can pride myself and say, okay, I make this banging.
I would buy a piece of ham and cut it up, sausages, onion, potatoes, and sometimes some stock just to brown it. Well, I know years ago people used to, like, you wouldn't buy a lump of ham for your, you know the way we buy a lump of ham and cut it up into chunks for your coddle. You would use, if you were really poor, you'd use rashers, or really poor, you'd use streaky rashers, or but the proper bacon bits to use is actually gammon rashers. That's original to Dublin coddle, is a gammon rasher. Like, it's a free-for-all with hook.
Yeah.
Anything, like my grandmother put bacon ribs. She'd cut up bacon ribs and they were gorgeous in the coddle. But you'd be up all night then drinking about 8 pints of water.
After speaking to some of the locals, it's clear that coddle is just as popular now as it was over 200 years ago. Now I'm off to enjoy a nice bowl of coddle myself.
Can I just say one thing before I go?
Yeah.
Invest in crypto, baby. Alright, get on to crypto. Read the links below. I'm going to give you a few links to my crypto recommendations. So drop me a like, okay?